Hi everybody, this is Liam Martin from Running Remote, and in today's video we're going to be talking about something that I wanted to talk about for about 3 to 4 months, which is the roster for the Running Remote online conference. We have had a bit of an interesting situation over the last couple conferences. As you probably know, the physical location of Running Remote, which was going to be in Austin, Texas in March of this year, was canceled. We lost a whole bunch of money. I think we've already talked about that, and if we have, it's probably down in one of the videos below about how much money we lost. It was a lot. And we then ran into virtual events. So the very first one that we ran was a conference called Remote Aid, and we raised a whole bunch of money for charity. We felt really good about it, but we also realized that we lost even more money than the first event. So we've been bleeding quite literally the last couple conferences. But for us, as I said before in a whole bunch of other videos, I'm more interested in what we're trying to do to get the word out about remote work and why it is a great model for workers and employers to be able to move over to. So we have continued on with that trend. And with that trend in mind, we've done a couple virtual events, and what we decided to do for this one was actually slow down a bit. So we've done, I think it's 3 or 4 over the last year, and that's a lot of virtual events. What we decided to do was slow down a little bit, reinforce our tech stack, our staffing, all that kind of stuff, and come up with an absolute amazing roster of people that you are going to get introduced to in a little bit over a month as of when I'm recording this video. So we may actually have more people that have been added to the roster in that time. If you want to find out the most up-to-date list, go to runningremote.com and you can sign up. You can sign up for free. There's also a paid option, which we would really appreciate. But if you just want to get the content for free, you absolutely can get access to it. It's totally up to you as to how you can support us, and even just showing up and consuming the content for free and possibly telling your friends about it is super helpful for us. All right, so we're gonna go through just a list of people, and for any of you that are actually speaking at the event, listen, I'm putting this in no particular order. I'm just putting it in the order in which I see it, so don't get any drama connected to this, please. First person on the roster, which was, we just announced him actually today, is Matt Berry. He is the CEO of freelancer.com, which is one of the largest, if not to some definitions, the largest two-sided marketplace for remote work on the planet. Matt has been running Freelancer for a really long time, and we're super excited to be able to dive into how did he build Freelancer, how has Freelancer changed due to the pandemic, what does he see remote work doing over the next year or two. It's a really exciting perspective and time to be able to have Matt on, so I'm super excited about having him on. We also have Neil Patel. I don't know if you guys know who that guy is, but he is, I would probably say, a marketing genius and one of the biggest SEO gurus in the industry. He's actually moved his entire operation remote, and begrudgingly, so he's going to be talking about specifically how he moved his company to a remote model and what the pros and cons that he's seen inside of that. Also, he will be interviewed by Nathan Latka. Nathan Latka is a good buddy of mine. I actually have his magazine somewhere around here in the office. I'm moving, so I probably don't have it right here, but Nathan is someone who's really trying to get his head inside of SaaS businesses. And we know that a lot of SaaS businesses are remote. Actually, probably the majority of them are remote at this point. So Nathan is going to be talking with Neil about how he's taking his companies remote, and also just in general, how tech companies can very easily make the transfer to a remote first model. We've also got Zoe, who is the HR director at Upwork. Upwork is, again, one of the largest two-sided marketplaces in the industry, and she's going to be talking about how Upwork has made the transfer over to a remote first model, and also just how Upwork has been working through the pandemic and what advantages and disadvantages they've been seeing. We also have my buddy Matt Kepnes, aka nomadicmatt.com. Matt is a good friend of mine. I've known him for almost 10 years, and he is the guy that is, to me, the ultimate digital nomad. He's been traveling the world for years. He runs an absolutely massive blog, and he also runs a massive conference on travel and work. So we're really excited to be able to have Matt come in, and he's going to be talking about where travel is going with regards to the pandemic and when we think that we can actually start traveling again safely. Also, honorable mention, he's been really through the ringer with regards to just the travel industry and seeing that, completely melt in March and April. So hopefully we can ask him a couple questions about that as well. I will be interviewing him, which is very cool. We've also got Jody, who is the head of talent and organizational development at Zoom. So again, everyone that probably is working remotely right now is probably using Zoom or probably has heard of Zoom. So Jody's going to be talking about, again, how they took their organization remote, which probably wasn't that difficult, but that transfer and how that's going and what she sees happening over the next couple months and years. And also we might be able to pull out of her some of the numbers that Zoom has been pulling, which I think are absolutely amazing. Since it's a public company now, you can go and see all of their reporting, but man, Zoom has just exploded, and really kind of seeing like what's next for Zoom. Are they going to become the ultimate video conferencing tool for all remote teams, which is a very, very big space. We've also got Sahin from remoteteam.com. You guys have probably heard of Sahin before in Remote Team. We've actually done a webinar or two together. A lot of people said that it ran way too long. I think it was like 3.5 hours, but it was mostly just me and Sahin making fun of each other for a couple hours. So he's gonna be on and he's gonna be talking about remote payroll, which is a really boring subject that you absolutely need to know about to be able to build a sustainable remote team. He's gonna be talking about that. We've also got Hillary Callaghan, who is founder of H-Rebel. And also I'm gonna pull in Brian Robertson on this as well, who's partner at Holacracy. And it actually works really, really well inside of remote teams. And basically a holacracy is an organization that has no head. It has no CEO, it has no managers. It just has nodes that come together into teams and accomplish particular things inside of the organization. So really interesting structure. A bunch of companies are doing this right now. And I know that Igor is very passionate about this. So we're having them on and they're gonna be talking about holacracy. We also got Andy Triba, and we've, on top of that, got Shane Mack, and they're gonna be talking about remote capital. So how can you raise money right now as a remote first organization, or just any organization, because you can't meet people face to face. This was the classic model pre-COVID, but during COVID, that has really changed, and they specifically have made lots of investments in remote first organizations. So I'm very excited about having them on. It's gonna be a really interesting conversation. We've also got David, or hopefully I'm pronouncing this correctly, David, who's the co-founder and CEO of Crisp. And for those of you that have not watched my Crisp video, just type in running remote Crisp and you'll be able to find it. It is really, really cool. It's a tool that I use every single day that allows you to pull background noise out of Zoom calls or any other audio track that you might be communicating on. And super cool tool. We're gonna be talking about how he's grown with Crisp, what he sees as the future of Crisp. I think it really is a critical part of your remote work stack. We've also got Claire, who's the CEO of Know Your Team. She's fantastic. She's been a really huge proponent of remote work for years. We're gonna have her on trying to talk about remote culture, how to really understand where your team is and what they're doing, and measuring basically how productive a remote team is. We've also got John Ekman. He's the CEO of 10up. Probably all of you know 10 up pretty darn well. We've got Aiden Mirazi. He's the CEO of Fellow app. Fellow is a really cool tool that basically allows you to be able to keep the minutes of a meeting inside of a remote team, and we've been using it for quite a while. We've got a whole bunch of other speakers here. I mean, again, go back to the website and check it out. For me, it's been really exciting to be able to get these caliber of speakers to come to the conference. And again, you can watch all this stuff absolutely for free. All you have to do is go to runningremote.com, sign up, and you are all ready to go. Also, one honorable mention before I leave this video, we also have a remote startup contest. So if you're a remote first startup, or if you're building a tool for remote workers, we're actually gonna be doing a contest where a whole bunch of VCs are gonna be looking at a bunch of companies. They're gonna be giving their pitches, and we're going to choose a winner for the end of the competition, and they're gonna get a whole fantastic package, which you can go to as well when you just go to Running Remote, and you can check that out. So if you sign up, also if you're a remote startup, why don't you sign up for that as well? It'll be pretty darn cool. I hope to see you. I think that this is gonna be probably one of the best events that we've ever put together, and it's just really exciting to see how fast remote work is growing. So if you're in any way interested in that, you absolutely have to go to this event. This is the reason why we make all of these YouTube videos, is basically to attract people like you that are watching this right now to our conference. So hopefully I'll see you there. And until then, talk to you later.